So Netflix has released a new TV show called as Three Body Problems, and I know you must have heard about it and you must have watched it as well. I am a bit late to talk about it, but anyways, let's do it. So first of all, let me tell you, I was a bit worried about how much to tell you about the story, so I am just gonna read the synopsis of it from IMDb. A fateful decision made in the 1960s China reverberates in the present, where a group of scientists partner with a detective to confront an existential planetary threat. Yeah, that's the overall story, but let me give you a bit of more details to get you excited to watch this. So first of all, there are a lot of murders happening. Scientists are getting murdered. Some of the brilliant minds of the world are being murdered. Why? Who's gonna do that? And the best thing about these murders are the detectives have no clue whatsoever who's doing that, and they have literally no clue. On top of that, there are a few characters or a certain character who has a timer in front of his or her eye, and he or she is the only one who can see that timer. Creepy, isn't it? But these are just of the few mysteries that are laid upon in front of our eyes at the start of the series, and then as we go deeper into the story, we are kind of doing back and forth between a 1960s 1970s timeline in China and then the present day timeline in London. So that is a kind of back and forth in the timeline that we do throughout the series, and which is very interesting because there are a few scenes cut in a way that there is a character and that character has to make a choice, which is a big one, and it's made in the 1970s, and just when the character is about to make that choice, that's the cut happen. There is when the cut happens, and it keeps you guessing, did that character really do that? That is something which actually keeps you hooked to watch this series. But I have to tell you, after I think 5th episode, a big reveal happens. When that big reveal happens, after that the story shifts its tone completely, and then we kind of know that okay, now we have this problem and now we have to go through this solution. But in order to do that, the story takes a bit of different turns. It kind of slows things out, but I was not complaining because I knew that they were kind of setting things up for the second, third season, so I was like okay with it. But I still wanted to have a big confrontation or a big moment in the finale where you can say okay, the 7 episodes time that I have invested, it was worth it. And that kind of happens at the end as well, so I was not disappointed by it. Now the main thing about this series was the suspense and the reason why everything was happening, and both of those things were depicted very nicely. And this series is actually based on a novel, so the creators had a big chunk of material already present with them. And yeah, by the way, I forgot to tell you, this series was made by the creators who made a small show called as Game of Thrones. I'm not sure you must have heard about it, but yeah, Game of Thrones creators were the creators who made this show Three Body Problems, and that actually got me excited when I heard about Three Body Problems. And you can see that this series really drives on suspense, really drives on the motivations of people, but at times it feels very slow and off place, and you are like questioning about it, but at the end of the day it really feels whole. But there are a few characters, there are a lot of characters in this one, that their storyline won't make a lot of sense in the end, or maybe the services of those characters are not required anymore, so therefore they have chosen a certain path for them. But then at the end you feel like, oh man, they are really smart, and that really astonishes you, and it makes you feel that is a real life thing. You can correlate that thing with real life, and it goes beyond the point of hurting you. It goes beyond the point of breaking your heart. And yeah, to wrap up, if you like suspense, if you like mystery, if you are into the sci-fi element of things, I highly recommend you to first check the trailer out and then definitely try and watch Three Body Problems out on Netflix. But yeah, I have to tell you, it has, in the second or third episode, it has a bit of frontal nudity. So I highly recommend you to check out these two playlists. This is the playlist which is dedicated to Stranger Things Season 5 filming, and this is the playlist dedicated to the upcoming movie Deadpool and Wolverine, in which I have talked a lot about some theories, but mind you, a bit of spoilers are in place there as well. And if you want to know more about the 4th Spider-Man movie, definitely check out this video and the video that I made before that. So yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching.